Psalm 91, most powerful prayer in the Bible. Today, we will explore one of the most treasured passages in the Christian tradition, often called the Psalm of Protection. Psalm 91 is widely embraced by Catholics and many other believers as a prayer of refuge, strength, and deliverance. Its words have echoed through centuries of devotion, offering hope in dark times and comfort in the midst of life's storms. Let us reflect on the meaning of each verse and discover how this powerful prayer can guide our faith journey. Psalm 91 begins with a profound promise: "He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty." Right away, we are reminded that God is our ultimate place of refuge. The phrase "dwell in the shelter" suggests a permanent relationship with the Lord, a bond that transcends fleeting moments of prayer. To dwell in God's presence means seeking Him in every situation, whether in joy or sorrow, success or failure. When we choose to live under God's protection, we are placing our trust in His care rather than our own strength. This is an invitation to let go of our anxieties and find serenity in the embrace of our loving Father. The psalm continues, "I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust." These words speak not only of deliverance from external dangers, but also from the inner struggles that weigh us down, fears, doubts, and burdens we carry in our hearts. God becomes our fortress, shielding us from everything that threatens our peace. When life's trials seem overwhelming, this declaration of faith reminds us that God's goodness and power prevail. Each time we speak these words, we reaffirm our commitment to trust in the Lord's protection above all else. Psalm 91 then describes how God rescues us from hidden perils, stating that the Almighty will save you from the fowler's snare and from the deadly pestilence. In biblical times, a fowler's snare was a trap used by hunters to catch unsuspecting birds. This image reflects the subtle, often unseen dangers that lurk around us. Temptations, spiritual attacks, and sudden misfortunes can strike when we least expect them, but Psalm 91 reassures us that God's eyes are always upon us. He is ready to break every snare that threatens to entangle our lives. As Catholics, we trust that God's watchful providence extends not only to the big challenges we face, but to the smallest hidden dangers as well. The psalmist then depicts God's care in a tender image: "He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge." Here, God is likened to a mother bird sheltering her young, enfolding them close to her heart. This illustrates His gentleness and compassion toward us. In moments of distress, we can picture ourselves snug under the warm protection of His wings. This metaphor calls us to remember how patiently and lovingly God guards our lives. Like a parent who never tires of tending to a child's needs, the Lord meets our fears with an embrace of mercy. We see the role of divine protection further explained as the psalm highlights God's faithfulness as a shield. God's loyalty and steadfast love form a shield that cannot fail. When doubts creep into our minds, when we are tempted to lose hope, recalling God's unwavering faithfulness can embolden us. His promises are not shallow words, they are the foundation on which countless saints have built their lives. Trusting in that shield gives us the courage to walk forward with confidence, knowing that His hand guides us toward our eternal destiny. The psalm then declares that we should not fear terror by night, nor the arrow that flies by day. Night and day represent the constant cycle of life. By night, our imaginations run wild, anxieties grow, and we feel vulnerable. By day, the visible challenges of daily life can loom large. In both circumstances, Psalm 91 assures us that God's protection is ever present. No matter the hour, no matter the threat, our loving Creator holds us securely. This message of continuous watchfulness strengthens our resolve to remain faithful, even when our courage is tested. A powerful segment follows: "1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you." This dramatic imagery conveys the intensity of life's struggles. Even if chaos surrounds us, even if we witness many succumb to temptation or despair, we who cling to God will stand firm. This is not a call to be complacent. Instead, it is an invitation to deepen our confidence in His promises. We must strive to grow in faith daily, cooperating with God's grace and following Christ's example of perseverance. The psalm promises that God will command His angels to guard us in all our ways. This highlights the Catholic conviction that angels serve as messengers and protectors. We find comfort knowing that God grants heavenly assistance to those who revere Him. So often, we feel isolated and alone in our battles. Yet Psalm 91 reminds us that an entire heavenly host comes to our aid when we cry out in prayer. Reflecting on this truth can fill us with gratitude and humility, as we recognize how God orchestrates all things for our salvation. When we arrive at the final verses, we hear the Lord's voice, "Because He loves me, I will rescue him. I will protect him, for he acknowledges my name." This direct statement from God reinforces the personal nature of our relationship with Him. Our love for the Lord is not merely a fleeting feeling, it is an active commitment that compels us to entrust our lives to His hands. Each time we recite Psalm 91, we renew our dedication to love God wholeheartedly and trust in His promises. In this sacred prayer, we discover a beacon of hope for every moment of our journey. Whether we face adversity, spiritual warfare, or moments of temptation, Psalm 91 stands as a fortress of reassurance. Even in times of apparent darkness, we can hold fast to these powerful words. As Catholics, praying Psalm 91 daily can be an effective way to fortify our hearts. It reminds us that God is always near, that He never fails us, and that we can rely on His grace to triumph over all evil. Let us make this psalm a cornerstone of our devotion. When storms rage in our minds and hearts, when we feel besieged by doubts and fears, let the words of Psalm 91 echo in our souls. May we dwell in the shelter of the Most High and stand firm in the fortress of His love. As we journey through life, we do so with confidence, consoled by the knowledge that we are guarded by the angels and held in the palm of God's hand. With the power of Psalm 91, may we daily embrace the protection, hope, and abiding peace of our merciful Father. Psalm 91, most powerful prayer in the Bible.